Hi, everybody. It's time for our lunch break musings for the day. I've seen several news clips this morning that seem to be talking about the $50,000 in the fast food bag that Holman took, the border czar. It's funny how everybody from the vice president to Blondie Bondi, as we call her, to Holman himself, nobody can give a definitive yes or no. Did he accept the money? And if he did accept the money, what did he do with it? And why is he not being looked at and possibly prosecuted for taking a bribe? Now, nobody seems to want to admit one way or the other if he took the money. Nobody wants to admit one way or the other if it's being looked into. Nobody wants to admit one way or the other what he did with the money when he took it, if he took it, um, and what's being done about it by the top tier from the vice president on down. So I've watched clips where George Stephanopoulos was interviewing J.D. Vance, and he just talks in circles, doesn't answer the question. And to the point that George finally got frustrated enough that he literally stopped the interview mid sentence in Vance and cut him off and just stopped. It was like, yeah, no, enough's enough of this. I watched some clips from the other day of where some of the committees were interviewing Pam Bondi about what the FBI was doing about this. Was this being looked into? Where's the video and the audio of Holman taking this money? Did he take this money? Another dance of her circling all around the question and never answering it. The same with Holman. Doesn't say that he took it, doesn't say that he didn't take it. And he dances around the question all over the place. It's really quite entertaining to watch how they can just spew all this crap out of their mouth and just dance around the topic. And so I started thinking, okay, well, let's just look at this situation. Did he take the money? What's being done about it? Is there evidence or not? And so we started out, first card I got was the Hanged Man. And so, we're talking about they're feeling trapped. They're feeling confined. They're uncertain. They lack direction because they don't know what to say or how to say it. And their 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 best bet would be to probably legally. I don't know. I don't understand the law, but it seems to me like if they don't want to answer that question, to just say I don't have the answer and shut up. They'll say, I don't have the answer. Well, Pam Bondi does. But then she keeps on going, and the more she goes, the more guilty she looks. Same with all the rest of them. So maybe they're literally hanging him out to dry. When it comes push to shove, they're not going to back him up. They're only talking in circles right now because they're trying to protect their own asset. Okay, and then I drew, what is this? The Seven of Swords. Well, this is theft. This is trickery. This is cheating. This is bribery. This is deceitful. This is scheming. This is exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it. They they're acting so guilty that it's ridiculous. And the more they circle around the question and circle around the question, the more, like I said, the more guilty they look, the more deceitful they look. And then I got the Four of Swords, okay? And that talks about fear, anxiety, stress, feeling overwhelmed, uh, not getting any rest or any peace. So this sounds, this to me sounds like all of them from Vance on down. They are probably losing sleep over this because they know that things are coming down now. Evidence is coming out. People are talking. Whistleblowers are showing up and saying, hey, this is what's going on. And they are freaking out because they can't seem to talk their way out of it. And these are people who know just enough about the law to know what not to admit to or not. But instead of just giving simple yes or no answers and then shutting up, they spend all this time with this circus act of just, all over the place. Then I got the Ace of Swords reversed. Now, when you look at this Ace of Swords, that's a double-edged sword. That means it's going to cut you in both directions, going in and coming out. So the Ace of Swords reversed is has no ideas of how to deal with a topic. Intellectually unable or inability to be intellectual, to use your brains, inability to know how to respond to questions. It means failure. It means hostility. You saw that with Pam Bondi when she said she didn't know something, and as someone in her position, the FBI answers to her, and the senator actually said to her, "Yes, you should know this." And instead of just saying, "No, I don't know," she was like, "Don't call me a liar," blah, 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 and which just made her look that much more guilty. Okay, and then I got the Knight of Swords reversed. A lot of swords here, and 2 reversals in a row. So this is missed opportunities, out of your depth. Well, that explains everything with the crew that the current occupant has put together. They're all out of their depth. They're out of control. They feel like they're being left behind if they don't repeat ad nauseum what he tells them to say. They're rude. They're tactless. They're hurtful. But mostly, it's the one that strikes me the most is out of their depth. They're trying to play with the big boys, and they're showing real quick that yeah, they're playing t-ball with the big boys and wondering why they're not winning. And then I got, what is this? The High Priestess reversed. Another reversal. That's what, 2, 3 in a row here. That's manipulation, being cunning, trickery, wasted talent, illusions, deceptions. This should be behind every one of their names in the positions that the current occupant puts them in. Because it's ridiculous, the amount of manipulation and the amount of deception that they go to not answer a direct question. I mean, they could be asked, did you put clean underwear on this morning? And instead of saying yes or no, they're going to spend 10 minutes waltzing all around why it's important to do this or not important to do that. That has nothing to do with the question. That's where they're at. And then I got what is this? The 7 of Wands. Now, the 7 of Wands, we're talking about standing your ground. I see that very much so with the Democrats in Congress and in the Senate. They are not rolling over and playing dead, which is what the Republicans expected, because that's what the Democrats always did in the past. They would say no to something, and then they would immediately roll over and give in. They're not doing that this time around. And that is really shaking up the Republicans, that the Democrats aren't rolling over. They're not exposing their bellies. They're not, oh, don't be angry at us, and oh, everybody should get along really well. They're not. They are getting in their face and they're saying, hey, answer my question. What the hell is going on? This is really throwing the Republicans out of sorts, I guess you could say, because they don't know what to do about it. So, altogether, the fact that we had a whole truckload of swords here and several reversals, which again, I put all my cards in the same direction before I shuffle them. It blows my mind how some of them turn around on me. I don't know how that happens, but it does. I see some of these people that are being interviewed or going before special committees or going before Congress to answer questions. And, they're being asked very simple yes or no questions. And they can't answer yes or no. All they can do is just circle around and circle around. And the more they talk, the more guilty they look. And I think what's important about this is it's starting to be played on air. It's starting to be on regular media. I mean, a lot of us have known about it already because we watch the truth on all these podcasted medias that people like the Midas brothers and Katie Fang and Don Lemon and Joy Reid and Jim Acosta and Popak, the lawyer. I mean, these people are telling us, Keith Edwards, Mark Thompson, there's a few more, Harry Lippman. I mean, there is just this stream of qualified, well-educated, very intelligent people that are looking into all of this, that are asking the questions, and that are expecting to get the answers. And they're not getting the answers. And so they're telling everybody about it. But the point being is that it's getting to the point now where the answers and the walk around and all of the nonsense that the Republicans have been pulling, mainstream media is now starting to actually talk about this and show these recordings. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for the American people as a whole. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. The truth needs to come out. So hang in there. Like I said, it's probably going to get a little bit worse before it starts getting better. But the truth is starting to come out. People are asking tough questions. Regular, everyday Americans are whipping out their phones and they're recording this nonsense as it happens, especially when it comes to ICE and their shenanigans, which means that the truth is coming out. They can only hide so long before the truth comes out and bites them in the ass. And that's what's starting to happen now. And I think the more that happens, the more people on the right are going to have their eyes opened to what this administration has truly done. So, all right. Y'all have a good day. Hang in there. We'll talk again tomorrow. Bye for now.